Hi there everyone, this is Tracy from Lavinia Stamps and thank you for joining me today for another demonstration. And I'm going to create a sort of wreath with our lovely stag in the middle and then using one of our stencils just to create a really nice subtle background. So let's get started. I've got a mask here from our circle set. I'm going to pop that down first of all, and then let's take a stencil brush, and I'm going to be using Della Blue from our Elements range. So let's just pop a bit on there. I'm going to dab a bit off, they are quite juicy, and then pop that in the middle. And all I'm going to do is just start swirling around the edge, just very lightly. And again, take a little off. Keep a firm pressure to stop that movement. And then work your way around. I just want that to be nice and settled to start with. It's just more of a guide really as to where we're going to put the foliage. And then taking the Warm Breeze, I'm going to ink up this lovely branch, this fern-shaped branch, and I'm going to pop that down around about there and just follow that up and around, and I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. So ink up, it's a lovely, lovely fine branch. And then we've got another little branch, berry branch. This is from one of our recent releases and they come in a set. This is just the smaller one. And this time I'm inking up in the Medieval Blue. It's quite a strong blue, sort of a bluey purple. So I'm going to just stamp off first. And I've got another little stamp here. This is from one of our sets. But if you haven't got one of these, you can improvise with what you've got. We just want some nice foliage around the circle. Maybe we'll go to the twilight. Again, I'm going to stamp off first. Just want to test the colour. Make sure it's not too dark. We don't want to take our eye away from the focal point being our lovely proud stag. And then lastly I'm going to bring in some little berries just to add a hint of colour, and this time I'm inking up in the Glamorous. All I'm doing is just adding a hint. I don't want too much going on. So just by stamping off first, you just get that lovely sort of three-dimensional very much in the distance, just that hint of colour. And it's all about layering. So we've got our lovely stag, and I'm going to actually stick to the twilight. I'm not using black, keeping it blue. Make sure that he is completely covered. It's quite a large silhouette, and sometimes we can miss an area. There we go. And I'm going to pop him down in the centre. Make sure he's straight. And then give that a good press. And you can see there it's a little bit faint on his back. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the twilight on a brush. And just go over the top. Always try and use the same colour if you're touching up, just because it can stand out otherwise. And there's so many different shades of black that you never seem to get the right black, so try to use the same ink as what you've stamped with. There we go. So I'm going to add a little bit more depth down here. So I'm going back to my Della Blue. It doesn't look like he's floating anymore. So moving on to the yellow now, I'm just going to give a hint of that lovely yellow there in the background, which makes him stand out even more with that glow around him. Okay, and then I'm going to take our stencil. This is the, I think it's the stone stencil, and I'm going to go back to our Della Blue. And all I'm going to do is just lightly brush over that stencil. I literally just want to give a hint of colour, not much. There we go. And I'll do the same on this side. Hold it firmly. And again, just brush over the top. There we go. Okay, so we can put a little verse on as well. What have we got here? Red leaves fall as silence calls, goodbye autumn, hello winter. So I know we're well into winter, but you can choose any verse that you like, any sort of Christmas verse. I'm going to stamp off. I just want it to be very subtle Lastly, I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle on. So I've got my glue pen here, and then I'm just going to dot in and around that lovely foliage. And then we've got our holographic glitter here, which I think is a really Christmassy kind of glitter. Colours in that glitter, and you can see that. I think they're amazing, and it's a very coarse glitter, so that's why you get such a good sparkle on it. Let's pop that back in there, and there we have our Christmas card. Well, thank you once again for joining me today for another demonstration. See you soon, take care, bye for now.